Page 55, My Robot. At the top of the page, they're introducing a new musical symbol for you now to know forever and ever and ever. It's called a sharp sign. We, in my generation, would call it a pound sign or a number sign, something along like that. Today's generation might call it a hashtag or some such thing. Technically, those symbols are actually a little different, but the point is there's two lines going down, there's two lines going across. Okay. A sharp sign, so let's talk sharps. Remember whole step and half step? Let's review whole step and half step. In music, the closest distance between any two notes is a half step. It's like from here to here. There's nothing in between these notes. That's a half step. If I go here, that's a half step. Half step. All half steps. A whole step is just two halves. So there's one note in between. Here, here, that's a whole step because there's a note in between. If I go here to here, that's a whole step because there's a note in between. Whole step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Whole steps and half steps. We need to know what those are. So, a sharp simply raises the note up, the pitch up a half step. So on a piano, up, remember, is that way? Down is that way? Sharps go that way? Okay. You simply play the next note up, white or black, key, whatever it is. So if I have a C, and I want a C sharp, I go up here. It's a C sharp. If I have a D, D sharp. If I have an E, E sharp, and you say, whoa, 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 that's an F. Wait a minute. Well, sit down for a bit. Every key on the piano has multiple names. Hopefully you understand the names now. You've been able to take the stickers off. You don't need them. Because the stickers aren't going to give you all the names in that key. It's going to give you the basic one. We're going beyond basics here. So even though that might be an F, because it's a half step above E, it's also an E sharp. It's like here. That's a B. Well, that could be a B sharp. So that is either a C or a B sharp. It's got other names besides that too. So just take it as it comes. Whatever the music says, let's go for it. It has to do with theory and harmony and building chords the right way. I ain't going to get into it. Don't worry about it. Just if there's a sharp sign in front of the note, look at the first measure here. You see the G and a D and a C and a D. Okay, the C has a sharp sign in front of it. That means instead of C, you play C sharp. So instead of C, we play C sharp. And for now, as far as fingering them goes, we're going to use the same finger on the black key as we did on the white. So I'm in this position. When I want a C sharp, I'm going to just use second finger here. Here. Look at the second line, last measure here. You have a C and a D together. And the sharp sign, if you look carefully, is in the space. The space, it's centered on the space. So it's the C sharp here. So it's C sharp D. I need more coffee for that one. But that's what the music says. It's not my fault. They did it. It's here. Here. And you got these throughout. Now, this sharp sign is called an accidental. Not an accidental because it's an accident. No, it's an accidental because it's temporary. The rule is, and people don't agree on the rule, but all right, this rule people pretty much agree on. The rule is it's good from that point on in the measure for the rest of the measure, and only that measure and only that staff. So at the beginning here, we have a C sharp. That's good only for that measure, for the rest of the measure. In the next measure, if I had a C in that, it would be a C natural. Because the sharp sign can't carry across a measure. There is an exception. Don't worry about it. Just right now, remember, it's got to be good for the whole measure. Well, look at the second line at the end of the line. You have these notes. Okay. That sharp sign on the first quarter note, that is good for the rest of the measure. So the half note is also a sharp. They're both sharps. Second line's the same thing. The third line, third line, second measure. Here, rest, it's still a C sharp because the sharp is good for the rest of the measure. But only that measure, which means each of these measures in the bottom line, they have to put in another sharp sign for each measure because the sharp sign in the other measure doesn't apply anymore. That's why you keep seeing the sharp sign in each measure, but you don't see it in front of every note because there's multiple notes in a measure. Am I making this complicated or what? I just love it. That's what I do, you know. But that's the way sharps work. As far as what people don't agree on is I can have more than one C in that measure. Because we have octaves, we have C's. I could have a C that's here, maybe I have a C up here. And that's what people don't agree on. Piano players need the sharp sign in front of each one. So if I had a C here, and I wanted them both sharped, I need a sharp sign in front of both C's. For other instruments, they don't need the sharp sign in front of all of them. Just a sharp sign in that C would mean any other C anywhere in that measure would automatically be sharped. But piano players don't work that way. And people have never agreed on this rule. I've been on both sides of the discussion on it. Now let's look this over. I see it's 3 lines long with a repeat sign. It's 6 lines long. It's actually longer than that, but I'll come back to that. Treble and bass clef, 4/4 time signature. We got quarter notes and half notes. We're dealing with our sharps. Okay. I'm going to kind of take this both hands at the same time because most of the time is one hand or the other playing. So the left hand starts here and the right hand is in G position. Now even though there's C sharps used, the hand position is still the white keys, and I simply move the finger I need, whichever it is, here. Now they've got you using 2 and 3 here. That puts you in this position. If you want to be in this position, it's fine. So you can do these fingers. The reason is because these fingers are more comfortable to use than these fingers. I'm a mean teacher. This is the way I am. I would prefer you be in G position and stay there and use 4 and 5. You're just lowering that weight down on those fingers. Don't shy away from these awkward fingers is what I'm getting at. Use them. The more you use them, the less awkward they get. They'll always be awkward, but the less awkward. So I'm asking you to use 4 and 5 on those. Here, and stay there. So I'm going to be in G position all the way through. Here. And then the second line, last measure, is here. And the last line is here. Oh, good Lord. Somebody really thought of that. Good grief. But that's what's written. Okay. Something to do with robots, I guess. Once you have the notes and the rhythms down, get rid of the hesitations. So it's a steady beat. You can go as slow as you need to, doesn't matter. It's steady. You think about the articulation. There's slur, lift up. Lift up. Just lift up in the left hand. The right hand, you just play them. Try and play them at the same time. I don't, but maybe you can. Dynamics, well, F at the beginning, that's it. Forte, loud. That way you can enjoy this mess even more. It's loud. Whatever you think loud. Not super loud, good grief, but just loud. If there's anybody else around, you might think about just playing it soft. These, it's all loud. Good luck with that. Speed, moderate, about where I've been going, I think. Sort of fast. That's how I might try it. I don't know. You'll notice there are verses there over to the side of the page. There's a second, third verse. So if you're going to be singing it or somebody's going to be singing it, you just keep repeating however many verses there are. So you could play this 3 times. Most of the time with a repeat sign, you repeat once and done. But when they have verses like this, you just keep repeating for how many verses you're going to sing. And the note at the bottom, third time gradually dying away, I would change that to be last time gradually dying away. Because if you only play it twice, go ahead and die away on the last time. Get softer. Gradually get softer. Just, yeah, you don't have to slow down necessarily, just get softer. Let's play this together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do any there aren't any dynamics. I'm only going to repeat it once, so we'll just play through it twice. I'll give us 4 counts. 1, 2, ready, go. 4, 4. Repeat. 4. 4. 4. 3, 4.